EVO.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Finding Me. I'm Josh Wolf. This is going on near, I think, this will be the 7th week. Is that crazy? This is just a quick little journey, entry podcast, whatever we're calling it, that I'm doing every day to hold myself accountable and try to find authentic me. Now, first of all, getting back in the gym is so amazing. You know what I would tell people who don't work out? Like, the way you look is secondary to the way you'll feel. Like, when I don't work out, I am a fucking disaster. Holy shitballs. And today I can't only do legs right now because I fucked up my shoulder. And I'm still doing the exercises to heal it up. I got like a partial torn rotator cuff and a partial torn labrum. And it sucks a big dick. But legs in the gym, I fucking hate. And whenever I have a trainer once a week. I had one male trainer. I've had two. I hated working out with both of them. I like the way that women train, and just the guys that I had, I was like, hey, I'm not trying to see how much I could bench. But they trained me in a certain way that I was just like, this is not what I'm interested in. And I had a trainer last year who was an ex-Cirque du Soleil dancer, and she was fucking amazing because she trains you like an athlete, which I like. And my trainer now, she's also amazing, but competes in strongman competitions and shit. But she doesn't train me like that. I definitely don't. But she can definitely lift so much more than me. Holy shit, she's stronger than me. She'll show me something that's just like body weight stuff. And I'm like, oh, that looks easy. Because she'll rep out whatever. She'll do them as she's talking, and not be out of breath. So I was like, oh, I should be able to handle this. There was one thing, dude, I could not. She did 5 so easily while she was talking to me that I was like, oh, well, we got this, And I midway through the first one, I was like, God damn, how did you fucking do this? But she's an amazing trainer also. Anyways, psyched to be back in the gym. 1,000% psyched to be back in the gym. But I got to tell you, last night I did write. I'd wanted to write before I started doing this. I was going to do 30 songs in 30 days, write them. And I got to day 4, like I knew I would. And then whatever. So I'm finding when I set these goals for myself right now, anyways, I'm setting myself up for failure, which is what a terrible thing to do to yourself, so I'm making the goals way more realistic. And then if I exceed them, fuck yeah, that's awesome, dude. I'm always trying to. But 30 songs in 30 days, I just don't know why. You know what I mean? But I wrote one last night that's so stupid. It's all about, I was thinking about how okay. I was thinking about, oh, that fooled me. At my age, the things that were important when I was young and things that are important now, and what's more important. And I was like, I started thinking, well, if somebody said, look, we surgically remove your nuts or you lose all your hair, what do you pick? I'm like, take the nuts. Take the nuts. I don't need the nuts anymore. I'd like to keep the hair. What do I'm not getting anyone pregnant. What do I need nuts for? Get fucked. I'm keeping. So I wrote a song, like it's like a 3 or 4 verse song. But I think the lyrics are, I don't remember. They're over there in the book. Um, I think it's like, I'd rather lose my balls than my hair. Well, I'm not using them. What do I care? And then, oh, this is the third verse. Uh, every time I sit on a chair, I have to take extra care not to sit on my balls. So keep the balls. You take the balls. I'll keep the hair. I think those are the lyrics. And I think the last line is, and I also want to keep my penis. That's, you know, just the rough first draft. But I think the idea that that I would at this point in my life rather keep my hair than my balls is probably, I bet you if you asked a lot of dudes who had hair at my age and they're like, you want those balls or you want to be bald guy? And they'd be like, take the balls. Take the balls. And I'm not even dude who's got full head of hair, right? Mine is definitely thinning. And I would still be like, I'm going to keep the hair and lose the balls. I think realistically, I probably would have come to that conclusion even in my late 40s. You know, why do I don't need them. I wish I could donate them, but that, for people who don't, are there people who need balls? Are there? Oh, I mean, when people transition, I don't think those are, I think it's not balls, or maybe they do like balls. I'm going to have to ask somebody because I know they build the dick, but what do they do with the balls? They can't like do a nut transfer. Anyways, guys, some days my brain is a little scattered. Um, anyways, yeah, they wrote that song, which I think is going to be fun. I don't know. Honestly, here's the crazy thing about the songs. As soon as I find a topic I like, and this goes for parody or original, as soon as I find a topic I like, the words are the easy part. But it has to be something that like I wrote a song recently that I have to edit. I think I was talking to you guys about this the other night, where I think it's the best thing I've ever done. Where I wanted to write a song about what it's like to talk to your parents on the phone when they're older. So I told my mom, I sent her some ideas of some things to say, and I recorded the phone call. So the song will be, me singing whatever I say to her on the phone, and then her response being the actual phone call, her to me. So the first verse is something like, "Hey mom, how you doing? Um, I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while, basically. And what's going on over there?" And I recorded her going, "Well, your father's got diarrhea again." And every time I hear it, I'm like, holy fuck. So it's like the conversation that you have with them as you get older. But what makes this different is it's actually like it's also a chance for me to say something about my parents And it'll be so cool to sing it while they're there. So there's a verse that's, the bridge is like my heartfelt thanks to them for everything. And then I go, Mom, because this happens all the time. She goes, sorry, honey, I had to put the phone down for a second. Your dad, and says something about my dad. She was like, what did you say? I'm like, that's all right. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I do. I'm not wearing my glasses, so I have no idea how long we've been talking. And there's no way to blow that up. And I don't know where my glasses are. So you might get a 10-minute pod. You might get a 20-minute pod. You might get a 90-minute pod. If I can't see, I don't have you know what? When I really don't have a good sense of time is when I'm high on mushrooms. There was a time where I was on stage. Man, I felt like I had done 20 minutes. And I remember I was like, said to the person off stage, you going to come get me? And they were like, this is at Annie Letterman's show. I was like, you going to come get me? She was like, you've been on stage for 3 minutes. And I was like, what? Get the fuck out of here. Oh, damn. I'm in Kansas City this weekend. I don't know if I can play guitar. You know what I might have to do? But did I tell you on Monday night, for the first time in my life ever, not just on stage, ever, I played guitar standing up with a strap because my shoulder, I can't do it on my lap. I can't have my arm up that long. And so I forgot this weekend in Kansas City, I'm going to have to play standing up with a strap, which means I'm going to have to start plugging in, which means I'm going to have to practice guitar. When I don't plug in, I can get away with my guitar sounding kind of whatever, because my vocals are so much louder than the guitar. But if they're going to put the guitar through the speakers, that's going to be a problem. The jig is really going to be up. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, oh, when he says he's not good at guitar, he's not lying. He's aggressively ungood at guitar. But I love this Kansas City club. I love the hotel in the area that Jacob and I stay in. And I'm psyched to see, I'm going to see Chris Porter this weekend, one of my favorite dudes in comedy. And I'm just happy. I'm just happy. I'm so calm. I've never felt this calm in my entire life. It's such a great feeling. There are obviously days, everybody has days, but there are more of these than the other ones, way more for the first time in my life. It's so cool. What are you growling at, dude? By the way, finding me with Josh Wolf at gmail.com. Send them in, man. I love reading them. They're so cool. But I finally get why people write in a journal every day. But doing it while I'm looking at myself, I say this every show, is so remarkable. But yeah, and I'm going to tell you something, by the way, that I've found since I can't work out that much. I have had some people reach out to me about fitness stuff, but I can just tell you for me now, I'm not as much of a lunatic like a 10 when it comes to eating, but I'm a strong 9. And I go back to not lying to yourself. And when I mean lunatic, like I'm strict. And after a certain age, depending on what your goals are, but you can't be kind of, if the goals are like lofty, But set the realistic one so you can eat what you like a lot. You know, don't be a maniac. And like, just feel better. That's the thing. None of us are going to be on the cover of anything, you know? So who gives a fuck? Yeah. Like, I don't think, even 3 years ago, how skinny I am would bother the fuck out of me. I just feel good. I don't give a fuck. You know, when we get a certain age, I don't want to make that sound every time I stand up and sit down. And that's not me coming. That's me just standing up and sitting down. Things crack and kringle. You know what I mean? That's what I feel. I don't want to eat food and be like, I'm tired. That's not for me either. Yeah, it is, honestly, dude, there's no secrets. I think everybody knows what the deal is. It's just how big do you want your sacrifice to be? That's all it comes down to. You got to sacrifice something, time, sweat, you know, whatever in the kitchen. It all balances out. Don't be a psycho like me. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your life, man. Yeah, don't be a psycho. It's not a ton of fun. Don't be at a 9.5. Nah. Some people love it, man. And I look at pasta all the time like, oh. And bread, get fucked. Just watching people eat sandwiches. Amazing. I love you guys. Finding me with Josh Wolf. You are enough. Later.